Some big flying overhead. Can't see a thing. Yeah, it's quickly document it because I think for a long time George is sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of saying something about it without putting something down to remember or reflect or check if someone else has said. Anyhow, this is a bit weird. I don't know if this is really going to be satisfying much. I'm just going to go home. Yeah, see that cricket? Look from here. It's leg rubbing had become a bit of an issue. As loud as fuck. It doesn't stop when you stomp. Sometimes it does, not most of the time it doesn't. You know, remember years ago for cricket you just walk and don't stop. There's something surreptitious. There's something, I don't know, there's something about these crickets. There's a story that listen to it. I'm in here. I'm 15 metres away from it in the house, and the frequency from that thing's driving through my brain like a fucking. It's intense. It doesn't seem to be in balance with everything else. I remember a couple of years back, coming home one time, and Em was going nuts with this cricket. She was carrying this cricket that was out the front, and I'm like, oh, that's the cricket, you know. I was thinking it's making a big deal anyhow, stomping, and the bloody thing wouldn't stop. And I remember it quite vividly now. It was high pitched, and it was incessant. Right, this is a couple of years back, whatever, 2-3 years back. Then about, I reckon, a year ago, I started watching, listening to, I can't remember the dude's name, was this like Tom Saklar or something. I don't know if he's real. He might be a complete construct, AI something or other. You never heard his voice. You never saw him. He wrote very well. And he showed incredible footage, and the reason I started, I suppose the reason I found it and drifted right into it and it was blowing my mind is because it was the same shit. It was the same things I was seeing, the moving light, he was moving the moon, it was the same, right? It was the same footage, it was the same type of stuff. I don't know how long it was, from a few years earlier. It seemed to have, everything appeared, at least when I saw it, to have been documented and gone on. People had, a lot of followers, all the rest of it. But anyway, I don't know if he's a real person. I'm not getting off track. I'm just going too far down that one particular track of the bloke's name. So something that resonated is he spoke about, and I don't know whether there's anything in any of this. I mean, clearly there's some weird stuff going on, to put it lightly. He tells a story about hearing this cricket, and it didn't sound right, and I'm completely paraphrasing. Certain. The premise is, I'm really not explaining this very well. There's a certain number of, I don't know, repetitions or lengths of amount of chirps that a cricket should do. I'm going to go look this up. I did look it up a long time ago, but I've forgotten what it is, and I've forgotten to continue down that path that's stuck in the back of my mind. But this little motherfucker has brought it back onto my mind he only turned up last night, the night before. He hadn't been there the whole time. He's located right where I hang, right where the spirits and whatnot is. And tonight there's actually less light there. Usually the lights in the garden are all lit up. Anyhow, so it's like 38 or what is something like that. I'll find out. Point is, he had this information. It's from some study that someone had done years ago, and he was hearing this cricket, and he recorded the cricket, and he counted up, and it was doing the wrong number. The crickets only do this particular number, which makes sense. It's, as I understand, it's a mating. I think it's a mating thing. Unless I've just confused that because they're vigorously rubbing their legs together. I don't know. I think that's what it is. It's part of the system of being a cricket. It would be like us saying, all the words wrong, or just talking forever, which some of us, which we all do. So maybe it's just a dyslexic cricket in the backyard, and he's confused, and he's just been obnoxious, and he's just following after what he sees around him. Fair enough, but he's giving me a shit. What this guy ended up getting into is that he professed to uncover that, and this makes a lot of sense when you think about it, that devices and different things and things that aren't actually nature, perhaps, but are pretending to be nature, have been put in place by interests of people that have interests of keeping us at a stressed, or perhaps are feeding off our energies. And we can talk about archons and that type of stuff, parasites, whatever the fuck's actually going on. The evidence would suggest that something along those lines is happening. I won't get into possibly why. There's enough people talking about that. All I want to say is that it makes perfect sense. You have it's sounds of nature, right? Any sounds, and this could be happening in air conditioners, fridges. This fridge does some weird shit. There's that resonant frequency. There's a background hum. There's no noise in the background. Everything is resonance. Everything is vibration. We are vibrations. We are the sound. Light is everything. Everything. Our entire existence. Every single thing. Every thought. Everything is vibration. Everything is resonance. Right? It gets talked down. It doesn't even get talked about. But most people, don't think that there's. A lot of people don't think. Point is, we know that resonance has a massive effect. I think that's what's going on with all these. We're finding out about all these old buildings and churches and free energy and the way things are built with arches and towers and the cube is the whatever it is the shape of sorrow, or because energy flows in particular ways, right? That's essentially what it gets down to. And energy flows in a resonant frequency is absolutely critical, and I think that's what it seems that other civilizations have their head around, and we've been kept in the dark for more ways than one, but kept in the dark about that. And I think we're just starting to discover it, but we know that in vibration you get a hill, right? The tuning forks, there's with the correct vibration. Was it, I think Tesla, as I understand it, who knows, he could be made up as well. Some story about him. He tunes these things to. He's testing. No, I'm going to completely stuff it up because I really don't know what I'm talking about. But the point is, he basically tuned in. He was up high up on some building apparently in his apartment or some shit, and tuned into the resonant frequency of the building. Right, and you look it up. Look up what happens, because that's how shit happens. Apparently the thing was moving back and forth. If you tune into a particular frequency, you tap into any to dimensions, right? To I suppose any part of anything, anywhere in the universe. I'm not talking about, if I say physical space, but anywhere is probably not a. It's not 20 kilometers in that direction. It is. You tune that frequency. Everything's on top of. Everything's happening in the one spot on top of everything else. That's how it's happening, and we're tuned into a very narrow band of that. And I think that's what all these different realities are, and it's the resonant frequency. And are you what frequency are you vibrating at? And is it low frequency? Is it they get into emotions and fear and that kind of shit, or resonating with high frequencies. And I think what happens is you resonate with high frequencies, and the other shit falls away. You can't match it. So there's a lot of things going on that aim to keep people resonating at a lower frequency, whether it's parasitic entities feeding off the energy, which seems like it could be the case. So the Gnostics were all over that. But regardless of any of that, there's a possibility that this thing in the backyard, and I'm going to find out how many chirps and what constitutes a chirp, so anyhow, I'll look into this. Because I can remember him being so full on about this cricket, and in hindsight, like that, it makes perfect sense. Is that it makes perfect sense that these little things, right, and they just build up as this background noise. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to even just block out stuff. You don't even realise you're blocking it out. But it's a constant. It's part of. We were going to look at, getting a place, go up to the sort of the hills, the far away, the bush, and we looked at the play. And the point is, because you feel, people give off. We all radiate energy. We're tapping into it. We're blocking it. Even if you don't know it's there, part of you knows it's there and is putting in work to keep you from knowing it's there, or it's coming in and doing something without you knowing it's there. Tom Sakara, I think the dude's name was, but I don't even know if he's real. Cold, it could be a fake. Could be whatever. But the cricket thing, well, there'll be something in that worth looking into anyway. The scarab beetles that use, and bees don't fly, they vibrate resonance, so they're electrocuted craft. It's how it's the dude levitating on the funny board with the. I think there's something in it. Crystals resonate, they vibrate. I feel it from some rocks. Feel it. And I think that's something we all need to get our head around in our hearts. But this one makes probably no sense. I'm not sure that I'll actually share it. But need to stop now. Let's walk out the back. It's like fucking 5:30 in the morning, in the dark. Things bumping into me constantly. Yeah, actually, while it's still going, this is what this dude. Part of the reason I blocked out a lot of what this guy was saying, but block it out, but you can't just accept everything yet. You can digest and measure it against things in your own life, but as he was basically talking about archons, right? And he was saying that that's one of the ways to know that it was ways of identifying that they're actually there, and basically knowing about these things and then having awareness is what takes away the power and stops them. So maybe that's precisely what he was. And I mean, you're talking about it as consciously identifying, as I've been trying to do with fucking everything, but you can't do everything in my bloody life, inside and outside. But all I'm saying is he heard us talking about him. He's like, fuck, I am in it. Oh, he's on to us. He knows about the two big chirps. I must have fucked up. We have to change the number of chirps. He knows about that. And then maybe he didn't have the power to make the noise anymore. He fucking who knows? Who bloody knows? But I suppose I didn't like the association with I suppose all the not hiding from any negative side of things, but orbs and all the different stuff, and it's all electromagnetic frequency. That's why we get tingly faces and noses, and you feel them hit you like rain. Yeah, it's all good things, you know. Yeah. And I was trying to start to learn about some of this stuff. I'm trying to base things, in a measured and fair way, based on my own judgment and my own experience. And at the time, I was like, oh yeah, it would start to wig me out. And then every experience, I'll be thinking, oh, is this an archon? Is this that's the state that many of us, go in and out of. I actually think that the archon thing, I don't think it's more like perhaps a metaphor for our own negative thoughts. You're putting your own bad negative thoughts and down things out into the environment, and then it comes back and things fuck up. And I've been sitting there like, there's archons just fucking up with the computers that way. And like, if I had have, I've got a cable that's fucked up, right? And so I've gone to get this cable fixed, but instead I do like a MacGyver technique, and it's holding on for grim life. 6 months, it's still working. I'm like, yes, Then when it fucks up, I'm like, no, it's not working. The archons are there. No, it's like I had control of that situation. I'm the dickhead that. I mean, look, I'm the champion that managed to make it work with great ingenuity and get this thing to continue to work. But it comes a point where when it fucks up, I take responsibility for it's my fuck up, and not go blame an external party. And that's, I think, what perhaps sometimes in this archons, and it's there's lots of things we don't understand out there, and lots of things we can't control. But what we can, I sound like I'm talking like a bloody. What we can control is ourselves. Right? We can at least control our reaction to things. At the very, we can choose how to react, and we can choose what to do, there's a lot of choice. Sometimes it does feel like we're walking around in prison, but the reality is, regardless of any situation, I suppose you still have control or free will of how we choose to interpret, behave, interact, what we put out into the world around us. And, none of us are fucking any experts at that. But we got to learn from it. I'm a bloody slow learner. But you're going to try and learn from it. What the fuck am I talking about now? No idea. Alright. Good night. Good morning.